Hey guys, welcome to another Gauging Gadgets review video. In this video, we have something I'm very excited about. This is the Jackery Explorer 240. This is a 240 watt-hour solar generator that's completely portable. It can be charged via solar panels, your car's DC port, and also you can plug it into a wall using an AC adapter. And it has a very compact design that allows you to power devices via AC. So you can plug it in, powering things such as like small refrigerators, but you can also power anything that requires a USB connection. All that for around $249 on Amazon, so check the link in the description to find that price. Let's go ahead and open it up and check it out. All right, so while we get this open, I just want to thank Jackery for sending me this device so I could test it. Thank you very much. All right, so it looks like on top we have some warranty information. Very cool. It does have a 2-year warranty. User's manual. Looks like a little pouch that contains some accessories. We'll open that in a second. Some marketing material. And then we actually have the Explorer 240 right here. It's actually a lot smaller than I thought it would be, and it's not too heavy either. Alright, so let's open up this pouch, see what we got in here. This is a really nice padded pouch. It has a nice strap on it so you can carry it. And the zipper seems of high quality as well. Looks like we have the power supply right here, and then you have 2 different adapters for it. One for the DC port for your car, and the other one is AC, and you plug this into your wall. That's all that's in this little pouch. So it looks like it did not come with any of the accessories for solar, which is a little bit disappointing, but we can purchase those online as well. So as you can see on the front here, we have a lot going on, but it's basically divided into 3 different sections. You have your display at the top, you have the input area. So this is where all of the input, solar, DC, AC, will go into the device and charge the actual Jackery 240. After that, we have 3 different types of output. We have USB, so this is going to be anything that is powered by USB, cell phones, tablets, things like that. We have AC, so you can plug in anything that requires a wall connection. And as you can see, it does allow 3-prong plugs as well, which is really nice. And then we have anything that requires a DC plug right here. So anything that kind of looks like this that you can plug into your car's cigarette adapter can go right here. So that's really it on the front here. I really love the 2-tone with the gray and the orange, and it has the really heavy-duty looking orange fan vents on the sides. That's really cool looking. On the bottom here, we have these really thick rubber grips. There's 4 of them. They seem to be very well secured, so they're not going to come off, and they add a lot of grip to the bottom of this. Really nice handle on the top that's big enough to fit 2 hands. I have pretty large hands and I can fit both of them there, so no issues there. And on the back here, there's really not much going on. A little bit of grooves. Maybe I guess if you're going to set it on its side or something, it would provide a little bit more grip. Just remove this little cover on the display, and the cover on the display actually says that the display will say power turns off after 15 seconds, and you just need to hit the display button to turn it on to see the status of this. So the display will give us a lot of great information. First, it has input and output, meaning we can see how many watts are going into the device and how many are being output. We also have a battery percentage, and it did come at 39%, so I'm going to have to power it up before I use it. And then there's also a battery icon that kind of just shows how much battery life is left. So just as a quick example, I'll turn on the AC inverter right here, and you'll see that it actually will use some output. And I'm glad that it shows that, because that is going to use some wattage out of this device, and it can run down the battery if you leave it on. So it's good that they actually show that. See, as you can see, it's using 6 watts. So it's really important to make sure you turn everything off on this if you're not using it. All right, so now that we've taken a closer look at the Jackery Explorer 240, I'm going to go ahead and get it fully charged using the AC adapter. Then we'll run it down, see how long it takes and how efficient it is. After that, we'll see how long it takes to recharge it. So real quick, I have it charging right now via the wall adapter, and you do get a really nice blue LED that lets you know it is getting a charge inside, but the input also shows about 38 watts. Alright, so before we get started testing the Jackery 240, I wanted to kind of help you determine if it will be able to power the devices that you want it to power. So that was my biggest question when I was looking at these originally, was can I power this? How long will it power that? How do I determine that? So what I've created here is a spreadsheet where I can enter in the wattage used by a device, and then it will tell you how many operating hours you can get for those devices using the Jackery 240. So really it's just a simple calculation. There are 240 watt hours available, the efficiency is 85%, and then you divide that amount by the total watts used by the devices being plugged into it, and you get your operating hours. And check the description if you're interested in this calculation. I'll have this spreadsheet available to the public so that you can go on there, you can enter in the wattage that you're using and see if your devices will be able to be powered by it and how long they'll be powered. So as you can see here in my test, I'll be using a light. This is one of my filming lights. It is a 50-watt light bulb, and then I'll have a 12-watt fan. So that should yield us about 3.3 hours of operating time with these devices. So let's see how it does. So as you can see, the light and the fan ran for 3 hours and 42 minutes, which is 3.7 hours. So the Jackery 240 actually performed better than expected. So through my testing, I've been very satisfied with the Jackery Explorer 240. The build quality is awesome. This device feels extremely sturdy. The plastic is high quality and seems to be very well built. You have individual buttons for each different usage of the device. And if you turn on the inverter, it even shows in the output that it's using that power to run the inverter. So it's really cool that you have that information that's displayed there so that you understand exactly how much power you're using and you can really plan for it in the future with your charging. Another thing to note is while you're charging this device through the import, you can use the inverter, so you can use this device while you're charging it, which is a huge plus for me. Now with charging it, I found through my testing that it was about 7 hours to charge it through the AC adapter, and it's very similar with the DC adapter. If you're going to be charging this with a solar panel, unfortunately I was unable to do that because I don't have a solar panel. It's going to take around 10 hours. So really, that's one of the biggest limitations with this device. It's going to be the charge time, but I don't think 7 hours is really all that bad, especially since you could use it while you're charging it, and you have 3 different ways to charge it. So on a road trip, you could charge it while you're driving using the DC adapter. Once you get to your destination, you could either hook it up to the AC adapter or use a solar panel. So there's tons of options there. And Jackery also has a solar panel accessory for this, and it's really not that expensive. And I'll have a link in the description so you can check that out as well. One thing to note about the DC out right here is that it is at a 10 amp max. That's just something to know if you're going to be using this, depending on what you're planning on using this. But I really think the Jackery Explorer 240 is very powerful and very useful. One of the main questions I've seen about this online is, can it run a CPAP machine? And yes, it can. And the maximum operating time you're going to be able to have for a CPAP machine is going to be around 7.5 hours. So that's just something you need to know going into it. Now, this thing can really handle a good load. I was able to run my entire business on it for a couple hours, and that included a laptop, a large 4K monitor, my modem and router, filming lights, and I was also charging 2 power banks just to add some load. It got up to 120 watts an hour, and it ran for over 2 hours. So very good, better than expected there as well. All the plugs and the connectors here, they feel very high quality. The buttons also feel very high quality, and I love that you get the feedback of not only the light, but the display also turns on, and you get the beeping sound. So you know if it was turned on, and you know if it was turned on accidentally, so then you can go turn it off, because it will use power if you turn on this AC inverter. Another thing I think is important to note is it does have a fan in it, and that only came on once when I was testing it with a large load of over 100 watts, and it really was not that loud. It just sounded like a very light fan. So something to note, this is not completely silent. But for me, I didn't find it to be annoying or to be a problem at all. So that was the Jackery Explorer 240. If you have any questions about this, leave a comment below. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I'm going to add an Amazon affiliate link to the description below so you can find this exact device on Amazon. If this video helped you, give it a thumbs up, and please consider subscribing to my channel, Gauging Gadgets, more gadget reviews and tech tutorials. Thank you so much for watching.